Okay.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Vibe and Chat series. Today I'm very excited to have Ros Ben-Moshe to talk to. Hi Ros, how are you?
Yeah, doing well, Tanya, and you?
I'm very, very good, thank you. Ros is a part of our Vitality Festival that's coming up, which is starting on the 31st of October, and we'd love you to be a part of it. Ros, tell us what drew you to be part of the Vitality Festival.
Well, I just think that there's been so much, so many challenges generally, and who do we sort of tend to fall back on? It's those workers, those frontline workers, and teachers, and all of so many services of people that we really took for granted to an extent, and they have really been the backbone. Like without them, I think we would be feeling a lot more stressed. And I think it's just such a wonderful opportunity, just in a small way, to be able to, just to demonstrate the appreciation, to say, hey, we know you're there. We really appreciate everything you're doing. And this is just something little that I can do for you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. And tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get to becoming you?
Ah, one sentence that'll answer
Yes.
that. Right. Okay. Well, for many years, I actually wasn't particularly well. When I was in my 20s, I got chronic fatigue syndrome, and that really impacted on, I suppose, just my abilities. I used to be in the corporate world, and then all of a sudden, I just didn't even have energy to get out of bed for 6+ months. And that sort of set me down the path of well-being. And I was sort of, told that I had food allergies and that I should have a diet of, steamed vegetables and rice, and, and that would, help heal me. And I got a bit frustrated by that, and I started to write Food as Medicine. And I thought, that's it. I've solved the problem of well-being. It's all about what we eat. But then a few years into that journey, I realized that it wasn't quite so simple. And I went back to study health promotion and then public health. And then I lectured in both at La Trobe University. And during that, and also I trained as a laughter yoga facilitator, because during the lectures, for both health promotion and public health, I heard a lot of talk about mental health, but really what I was hearing was talk about mental ill health, stress, anxiety, and depression. And it was at that time that I was introduced to laughter yoga, and I thought, wow, that really addresses the issue of mental health. It's like, wow, that's fantastic. And so from there, I sort of opened up to, I suppose, the world of laughter and also positive psychology, and thought that that had it all figured out, and that life was ahead of me, and all great things, until I got an unexpected bowel cancer diagnosis at age 42. And all of a sudden I had to put essentially everything that I'd preached about into practice. And that really began my journey into who I am now. How we can change our mindset, how we can respond to events that are out of our control. It's really, how we, whether we choose to from a positive or a negative mindset. And, just essentially just tuning really deeply in to determine what you need on a given day to enhance your well-being. So yes, that's a non-one sentence answer.
Fantastic. Amazing story. And look at how well and gorgeous you look now. So you've obviously done really well with it. And currently, what projects are you working on at the moment?
Okay, so if you can keep a secret, and if all your listeners can keep a secret, don't say anything, but I'm super, super, super excited that, fingers crossed, we're going to have the first ever Laughter for Wellness course, online course at La Trobe University. Nothing, that's what I'm working towards. Nothing's been signed off, but that's my aim, that actually we have something to offer at a tertiary level in terms of Laughter for Wellness. So that's one of my big projects. And another one is for the Gawler Foundation. A colleague of mine, Jennifer Karlich, and myself, Jennifer from the Joy Space, who I believe is also going to be presenting. She and I have almost launched a laughter and resilience program for the Gawler Foundation. So it was meant to be a face-to-face offering, but obviously COVID came along. And so, yeah, it's a fabulous, again, the world first laughter and resilience online course for the Gawler Foundation. And yeah, I was going to say in another book, but that's even further down the track.
Wow, that is incredible contribution. You're doing so many amazing things. And you heard it first here on the Bite a Vibe and Chat.
But don't tell anyone, I'll get in trouble.
So tell us a little bit, Ros, about laughter. So it seems laughter's becoming a really important part of everything that you do. And we all know that when we have a really good belly laugh, we feel so much better. Tell us a little bit about the association and the connection between laughter and health.
Sure. So laughter, I mean, it works on multiple levels. You've got the physical level. So when you actually have a good laugh, your oxygen is exchanged more. You try laughing without breathing, you can't. So the more you laugh, the more you breathe. And we know breathing's good for you. And then there's a whole host of other health benefits, from lowering the blood pressure to stimulating the immune system, to even when you're laughing. It's like you're not thinking about anything else, you're laughing. So it's very meditative. It has a similar effect on the brain to meditation. So there are many other physiological effects. Then there's the social effect. I mean, if we were conducting this interview just on the telephone and I couldn't see your face, it would be different, but I can see you in that magnificent background that you have there. So when you laugh together, laughing between, two people or shared laughter, it's the shortest connection between people. If you share a laugh with someone, it's a form of intimacy. And then there's another level of laughter in terms of its ability to build resilience. If you can get to a stage where you can laugh at some of the adversity that you're going through, it actually helps sort of dissolve some of that, tension, and bring some lightness and bring some levity, and even reframing things in a more laughter or light-filled way helps just take away some of that trauma. So so it on so many levels, but I think it's just starting to sort of get that sort of recognition, because I think it's intuitively something we all know, that laughter is the best medicine, but what does that really mean? How can we make that happen?
Yeah, and I think also it's fantastic because laughter's contagious. When you see people, I know I've been to workshops before where somebody just starts laughing, and then before you know it, the whole room is laughing, and it's difficult to stop, which I think it's a really positive thing, considering we're in a pandemic and we're being affected by a virus. Let's spread laughter, which is also a little bit contagious. That's right.
And talking about the pandemic, had to come up sometime. Again, it's about how you choose to spend your time. Do you choose to spend your time watching news, that's just keeping on, belting out all this negative stuff? Do you choose to spend your limited amount of social time with people that bring you down? Or do you choose to spend time with people that actually enliven you, that make you feel good, that make you laugh? And instead of the news, perhaps choosing a sitcom or some comedy, and to activate that laughter, rather than just sort of let it sort of somewhere inside, actually give it a sort of source to unleash itself. And
Yeah, love that. That's exactly what I'm doing, is watching a lot of comedy at the moment. And just, you feel so good when you've had a laugh. And I think especially because, the energy at the moment, the collective energy is quite heavy. There is still a lot of fear and people worrying about all these uncertain times. So just to lighten things up and to raise your vibration, I think, laughter is just incredible.
Yes.
So, with your topic that you'll be presenting at the Vitality Festival, tell us a little bit about what people can expect to gain out of attending your workshop, Ros.
Sure. So I might touch on laughter, but what I am intending on talking about is self-compassion, because self-care is something that we all know, and I think that self-compassion is one of the most powerful tools in that toolkit. Um, you know, and I think especially the reason why I chose to talk about self-compassion is I have found that people in the caring industries in particular, so that's our audience, they are the most compassionate. They are givers, give, that's it's like a calling, really. And I found that especially in people that are such giving people, they have a different standard for themselves. So I found that whereas compassion levels might be up here, self-compassion might be down here. And I suppose the aim of my workshop is not to lower the amount of compassion that they share with others, but actually to get more balance and to introduce more self-compassion as a form of resilience, as a form of just being able to give back to yourself in order that you can give more. It's such an important resource to activate.
So do you think that for a lot of these carers, and I mean, I agree with you, they're so, they're always giving to everybody so much.
Yes.
And really, I think, do they need to prioritise their own self-care, do you think?
I do. I mean, in the olden days when we used to go on aeroplanes, and the announcement that would come about the oxygen mask.
Yeah.
Same principle.
Yeah.
If you it's like if you don't actually invest in yourself, and if you don't sort of power yourself up with that oxygen, you can't share that with others. So it's really important. And I think, another, reason why I love presenting this workshop is to, I suppose, dispel some of the myths around self-compassion. It's not being selfish. You are not being selfish if you actually treat yourself with kindness. And I think, again, we've seen lots of examples of random acts of kindness to others. Well, what about ourselves? I just think that we often sort of forget about ourselves in the process, especially when we're so other focused, which is a beautiful attribute.
Yeah. And I think, look, when people are looking after themselves, when they fill their own cup up first, they've actually got a better version of themselves to offer to everybody else. Rather than just giving until they get to a point of depletion, and then they fall over and they're no help to their loved ones or the people they're caring for, or even themselves. So, I agree with you. I think it's of paramount importance that the self-care and self-compassion is really a good thing.
Yeah, it's really important. It's a sort of thing I wish I'd been taught, perhaps. It certainly hasn't come easy to me. I think that a lot of people learn as children. It's like you've got to push yourself. You've got to do this. You should, and it sets up this whole sort of, I suppose, way of being. And it's only, I suppose, in the last few years that I've realised that perhaps some of the ways that I've sort of thought was, the best way of being aren't necessarily serving me well now. And I see the same pattern in other people. So.
I totally agree. It's interesting, when I've spoken to people before about self-care, I think one of the things that I hear a lot is that some women particularly find it difficult to ask for help.
Totally. Totally. I mentioned to you about the bowel cancer, and I had a bowel resection, and I had a temporary ileostomy, which is like, a sac which you wear on the outside of your stomach, and you wear your shit on the outside basically for a while. Thank God it was reversed. But I remember during that time, major operations, major things I was dealing with. It's like I'd still hobble along to the stove to cook the family dinner. What was I thinking? you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, you know, if it didn't come, say, from my mum or people, you know, really, really close, there's no way that I would have wanted to ask for help.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And I think that's really important for the frontliners because they're doing so much for so many people. And I think, there's a lot of people, individuals, neighbours, organisations that are all offering to help, not just frontliners, but everybody in general. And I think, I know for myself, we're so happy to help other people, but then, we need to get to a stage where we can actually say, I need help, and
yes.
get rid of the collective stigma that there's something wrong with asking for help.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, not seeing it as a sign of weakness, but
Yeah.
actually as strength. So it's about reframing. Coming back to that reframing, it's such a powerful thing. But yes, I think that's why what you're doing is seriously, it's fantastic. It's actually showing people that we all have to look after ourselves in order to look after others, and there's only good things associated with that. It
Yeah.
can only have a positive ripple effect.
Yeah. Fantastic. And what advice or wisdom would you share with frontliners right now who are watching or listening to this podcast?
What wisdom? Well, firstly, I'd like to give them a hug.
Yeah. I think we
I
all miss hugging.
miss hugs.
Yeah.
So, I just think, through every sort of challenging time that people go individually, or if you look through history, there is always there is always light, and always maintain hope. um, do whatever you can to keep turning towards the things that go well in your day. So even if you were to have a really challenging day, and perhaps sadly someone, one of your patients or something might have passed, or whatever it is, just take some time to pause and ask yourself, in this given moment, what can I be grateful for? Because no matter how challenging a situation that you're going through, there is always something to be grateful for, and to really start practicing tuning into those micro moments of joy, those micro moments of things that actually, fill your heart with goodness. The more you can do that, the more you fill your day with things like that, the more good you will see, and the more you'll be bolstered, the more resilience you will have to weather any sort of, challenges that come along your way.
Wow. Thank you, Ros. That is sensational advice, everybody. I completely agree with everything that she's just said. And thank you so much, Ros, for coming on and having a chat to us. If you'd like to see Ros, she'll be having a workshop at the upcoming Vitality Festival. We've got the link below, so if you haven't joined up yet, we'd love to see you, and please spread it around to as many people as possible. It's a 9-day free online health and wellbeing festival for frontliners, but for anybody else that needs a little bit of self-care, needs a little bit of motivation and empowerment, wants to learn more about their health, their mental health, their gut health. If you want to shake it a little bit in some of the morning classes, doing yoga or dancing, we've got a fabulous, fabulous program, and we really look forward to you coming along and joining us. So thank you so much, Ros. It was great chatting with you today, and I look forward to seeing you at the festival.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.